Good morning. Okay, today I have a question from Becca. Hi Tabitha, I have suffered from anorexia around 8 years now, and it completely consumes every aspect of my day-to-day living. I've tried to recover many times, but I have always relapsed simply because I cannot escape the thoughts in my head. My question is this: what do people without an eating disorder or fully recovered people actually think about? It sounds like a stupid question, but from where I am in my disorder, I genuinely can't imagine what I would fill the 99% of my brain with that isn't constantly thinking about numbers and measurements and weighing foods. Thanks, Becca. It's not a stupid question because lots of people ask it. Well, maybe it is kind of like a weird question, but lots of people still ask it. It's something that a lot of people in recovery or not in recovery worry about, which is weird, isn't it? It's like you're worried about not thinking about food the whole time. Well, okay, so I used to think about food absolutely all the time. I used to think about food directly, building sandwiches in my head, that sort of thing. I used to think about food a little less directly, counting calories, adding things up, trying to work things out, planning food. I used to think about food relatively indirectly, so planning exercise so then I could eat food. But yeah, that was the whole time, thinking about food. That was pretty much, of course there were times when I thought about other stuff. I hope that when I was like driving, I'd be thinking about that, but probably not actually. I was probably still thinking about food. Now, what do I think about? Horses. I think about horses a lot. I work for a non-profit. I think about that a lot, like working out ways that we can fundraise and make things easier, do more of what we're doing, rescue more horses and provide more services for people who need the horse therapy that we provide. I think about that a lot. It's a big problem, actually, you know. Don't know if any of you have ever worked for a non-profit before, but it's quite a lot to do, especially when there's 30 horses involved. Think about staffing a lot, because I need staff. I think about the house a lot, because our house needs a heck of a lot of work. And so just both me and my husband trying to work out, well, what should we put a light switch there, or should we do this? Like, stupid little shit. I think about, what have I thought about today? It's early, it's relatively early, so thinking about the dogs, I love them. Worrying that they bark too much and being annoying the neighbours, I think about that a lot. I'm thinking about the game of Cards Against Humanity that we played last night. It was really funny. I've been thinking about what I'm going to do the rest of today is sort of like clients and working that out. I've also got some meetings for the horse yard, that sort of thing. So I've been thinking about how to juggle that. I'll tell you one thing I haven't thought about yet today. What I'm going to eat. I've already had breakfast, didn't think about it. I was thinking about a lot of other things as I was cooking it, I can tell you that. So, all right, long story short, I have a lot of shit to think about, but I don't spend a lot of time thinking about food. It's not like this is, what gradually happens is your brain's obsessed with food because it needs it, and it thinks it's scarce, and it might die. So it's going to try and draw your attention to food a lot because it's smart. And when your brain starts to get the idea that, oh, maybe food isn't scarce anymore, maybe I'm not, actually going to die of starvation anymore, gradually stops thinking about food all the time and obsessing about it. And it's not like there's just a blank space there. It just gets filled with other things. Like, okay, so you think about how the human brain sort of, and how our intelligence works. You've got the three basic things you need to survive: food, water, oxygen. You need those to survive. Arguably, there's more that you need to survive, but really, to not die within a couple of weeks, you need those things, right? So, when your brain doesn't have enough of any of those things, food, water, oxygen, it's going to focus on those, whatever it is that is in deficit. So if you hold your breath, you can try this at home. If you hold your breath, just hold your breath, even after 30 seconds, you'll probably find that you can't think of anything else but breathing again. It's really difficult to hold your breath for a long time and be like, I don't know, answering a math problem or doing a crossword or something. Like, there's going to come a point when your body is so desperate for air that all you're going to be thinking about is, fuck, I need some air, right? So, and then, if you breathe, are you still thinking about, 5 minutes later, are you still thinking about air? No. It's because your brain doesn't need it anymore. It's not worried about it anymore. It's not worried it's going to die. So our brains are sort of designed to know that it needs these food, like the necessities. And then when those bases are covered, our human brains have this greater intellect that means that they can start to think about other things, like building spaceships and flying to the moon and inventing the wheel and sliced bread, that sort of stuff. Like, if people were just designed to only obsess about food the whole time, then we really wouldn't even have shoes. We wouldn't have made shoes yet, right? So that's what happens with your brain. It's like this hierarchy of important things that your brain has. And when the base isn't covered, food, water, oxygen, probably shelter as well, stuff like that, stuff that we need, then it's going to be very difficult to think about other things. When the base is covered, your brain will naturally start to think about other things that it can do to improve its life, better itself, all of that stuff. So I guess this is a really long answer to a very short question, which the short answer to this question is, don't worry about it.